Hi, my name is Caitlin Cobbert, and I will be doing my oral presentation on maternity leave for healthcare workers in the United States. Pregnant healthcare workers work over 36 plus hours taking care of the lives of others. We put ourselves at risk by being exposed to infectious diseases, strenuous activities such as heavy lifting and performing CPR, exposure to hazardous cleaning products, patient violence, and certain medication administrations. Yet, in the United States, healthcare workers do not have the option of paid maternity leave. We only qualify for 6 weeks worth of pay while out on maternity leave if we qualify for short-term disability or if our job provide any type of maternal financial assistance. We are required to use our personal vacation and sick time while out on these 6 weeks, which is not good. What is FMLA? The Family and Medical Leave Act, also known as FMLA, provides certain employees with up to 12 weeks of unpaid job protected leave per year. Employees are eligible for leave if they have worked for their employer for at least 12 months, at least 1,250 hours over the past 12 months, and work at a location where the company employs 50 or more employees within 75 miles. Time taken off work due to pregnancy complications can be counted against the 12 weeks of family and medical leave. Okay, I'm going to discuss my personal experience with the Family Medical Leave Act, also known as FMLA. Um, I applied for FMLA so I can take off for maternity leave. I will be getting 8 weeks worth of pay of all for maternity leave because I qualified for short-term disability. September made a year since I've been working with my job corporation, meaning I qualified. So I'll be getting paid for 8 weeks. And if I decide to take the additional 4 weeks, I would either have to use all of my vacation time and personal holiday time. So I worked until 38 weeks so I can save up on my vacation time if I decide to take all 12 weeks, which we all know is still not enough. It is still not enough to get paid, so I either have to use my vacation time or go unpaid. I have not made a decision yet. Also, during the application process was fairly easy for me. I did mine over the phone. All my paperwork was sent in email to me directly after. My only downfall was it was not with FMLA or the short-term disability company that I'm going through. It was my physician. I turned in my paperwork maybe a couple days after receiving it to my physician to sign and verify and to be faxed over to the company. Well, I notified my physician every week about it. I notified her a week later stating, hey, I received the email. They said they haven't received it yet, and it's due by this date. Can you please get the sign and fax over to them? The nurse said she will notify the physician, and we'll have it all faxed over by today. And that never happened. So 2 weeks later, I go back to the doctor, and I'm like, hey, did you get my paperwork faxed over so I can get paid while I'm off on maternity leave? She had no idea what I was talking about. They lost my paperwork on file, and it was literally due the next day. That was so stressful. Like, the amount of stress I was already put in, knowing that I might not get paid on maternity leave, and knowing I've done everything I needed to do to qualify to get paid on maternity leave, that was a very stressful moment. So I got sent an email saying that I wouldn't be getting paid because my paperwork was turned in late, even though I had my paperwork turned in to my physician weeks in advance. So she filled out my paperwork. I had to reprint it, resend it to her. She filled out my paperwork, got it sent, and luckily they reevaluated my paperwork and my appeal, and I got the 8 weeks pay while I'm off on maternity leave. So sometimes if you do qualify, you just gotta make sure your physician is on it with that paperwork, because the processing can take a while for some people. I know I had a coworker who went through a lot when it came to her processing because she went through major complications beforehand. So it took a while for her FMLA and short-term disability, and I don't even think she even qualified to even get paid. So, and I know that it can be very stressful. So, but that's my experience so far. It takes approximately 6 to 8 weeks for women to feel healed after giving birth. But in reality, it takes almost 1 year for the female body to completely turn back to its normal state. That is why it is recommended that you do not get pregnant within that 1 year range after having a child, because it takes a while for your body to get back to normal. So those 6 to 8 weeks is really not enough for a woman to jump back and go to work. But we have to do what we have to do. So benefits of paid maternity leave. Paid maternity leave comes with a lot of benefits, such as a decrease in mothers developing postpartum depression. They do not have to stress over their bills relapsing, how they're going to manage all their financial needs, take care of children, utilize, try to figure out how the child is going to get into a daycare in a matter of those 6 to 8 weeks, especially if the child hasn't received any immunizations. So, being paid while on maternity leave and having an extended maternity leave can help decrease postpartum depression. It can also decrease the infant mortality rate. When women go through postpartum depression, some women go through postpartum psychosis, and it potentially can cause harm on the baby. They can have a decrease in breast milk production, and if they are not getting paid on maternity leave, how do you think can they afford formula? So that amount of stress can also decrease the amount of breast milk production as well. So paid maternity leave and extended Maternity leave can help improve breastfeeding, which helps improve the digestive and the immunity function in the child. It reduces the risk of breast and ovarian cancer, diabetes, and obesity for the mothers as well. Um, but paid maternity leave and extended maternity leave can also help improve the relationship between the mother and the infant. It creates them a longer time to bond. The mother has time to heal. Like I said, breastfeeding is very essential when it comes to the mother and infant bonding, even if they're not breastfeeding. But it does help develop the infant and mother relationship. The mother can focus on taking care of herself and the child and not having to rush back to work, which can increase risk of harm on her body because she's not fully recovered, and infection as well. Your body's literally open, like, especially if you had stitches or if you had a C-section, your risk of infection is higher. So you need to stay home, relax, and take care of yourself. Maternity leave benefits across the world. On this slide, we are going to compare and contrast um, several different countries and their paid maternity leave, the average payment rate percentage, and their full-time rate percentage based off the number of weeks. So, first country we're going to start with is the United States. The United States does not provide any paid maternity leave. Maternity leave in the United States is based on the state and the job institutions. So far there's only 6 states that have paid family and medical leave programs, also known as PFML, not to be confused with FMLA. These 6 states includes California, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, and Washington. The next country is Canada. Canada offers 16 weeks of paid maternity leave at an average payment rate of 47.7% and a full rate that's equivalent to 7.6 weeks. The United Kingdom, they have paid maternity leave for up to 39 weeks with an average payment rate of 29.8% and a full rate equivalent to 11.6 weeks. Next, we have Spain. Spain paid maternity leave is up to 16 weeks with a 100% average payment rate for the full 16 weeks. Germany paid maternity leave is up to 14 weeks with a 100% average payment rate for the full 14 weeks. And Poland's paid maternity leave is 20 weeks with an average payment rate of 100% and a full rate of the whole 20 weeks. As we all know, maternity leave is not offered in the United States. Only 21% of U.S. workers have access to paid maternity leave through their employers. Most of these employers offer 2 weeks off of paternity leave for expecting fathers with 100% pay or a decrease in the average pay rate. The 2014 Labor Organization report disclosed that only 184 countries prescribe parental leave. Now, those countries, 71 of the wealthiest nations, provide paid maternity leave. In other countries, most fathers can they can take months off from maternity leave and still get paid. And then another option is the mother and the father have a combination of weeks off that they want to take for parental bonding with the baby. They can either split it in half. They can either use it all at once, depending on how many weeks they would like the mother to take off and how many weeks they would like the father to take off. Some men are granted 4 weeks, while some women are granted 8 weeks of paid maternity leave as well in other countries. But maternity leave for males can be very beneficial for not only the father, the child, but also the mother as well. Um, Maternity leave can increase the father-baby bonding time. Most fathers have the pressure that they have to provide and care for the family and financially. They have to take on a bigger step of providing for the family. But within those times off, especially if they're getting paid, they can increase their bond time with the baby and also allow um, an opportunity for parents to co-parent, especially they live in two separate households, so it gives the father time to co-parent and more time to bond with the child. It also helps decrease the workload on the mother, um, especially taking care of the child and working around the house doing household care. The males can help participate in this, which can help decrease the amount of stress that the mother is going through. And it also allows more time for the mother to heal and recover both mentally and physically. If you think about it, they give us weight restrictions. We're not allowed to carry so much weight after we give birth. Yet we have a 6 to 9 pound baby that we have to carry, plus a car seat and a diaper bag. And it's also recommended that um, women that just had a baby should not drive 2 weeks 2 weeks after having a baby. And in my personal experience, I drove in exactly 2 weeks, and that was the worst pain of my life that I ever experienced after driving those 2 weeks. Your body is physically not prepared to be scrunched up in that position for over an extended period of time. That's why women need to take their 6 to 8 weeks off leave. Their body is not ready for it. And also, it allows the mother more time to stay at home as well. They really need to heal. Like I said, we're gonna have an increased risk of infection. I know some mothers still experience back pain from having the epidural a couple weeks after having a baby. So we need the male there to provide the physical labor around the house as well. Like I said, this will decrease the amount of stress, which can help with breast production as well. I know in my personal experience, the father of my children were allowed 2 weeks of maternity leave with 100% average pay rate, and this was very beneficial for both of us. because one, he was still getting his source of income because I was not working at the time. I had my baby on Friday, and I returned on Monday and resumed clinicals on Tuesday. And that really put a toll on my body. I needed to rest and let my body heal. So, paternity leave and maternity leave can be very, very beneficial for both parents to allow the woman and the baby to heal. How to prepare for an unpaid maternity leave. So, first, let's create a budget plan to follow prior and after maternity leave. Make a list of all your expenses, such as your bills and what you spend outside of bills, such as groceries and etc. You also want to create a savings account for all expenses prior to leave. That way, all the money that you have saved is in a separate account, and you can keep up with the amount over time. Um, you can pick up extra shifts, especially during the holidays, to get a higher pay raise with that. But only do it if it's tolerable. If you think you can handle an extra 12 hours or however many hours you work, go ahead. But listen to your body. Your body will let you know. And if your doctor recommends that you don't pick up extra shifts, or if you need to switch from night shift to day shift, do so as well. But you also want to keep up the amount of GPT time that you have before you leave. Like I said, you can work up to however long that you feel to get more GPT time before you leave. And also research different benefits that your job may have or offer. You may actually qualify for more that you know, such as like short-term disability and FMLA, or see if they have any type of maternity um paid programs or any extra financial assistance while you're out on leave. Always do your research. Leadership opportunities before and during and after you go on your maternity leave. So it is important that you let your manager know that you're pregnant whenever you find out or whenever you feel comfortable letting them know that you are pregnant, that you're expecting. That way they can try to find someone to replace you in the meantime, or if you need any type of special accommodations within your job, they can work with you. But like I said, let your manager know your due date, when you will be taking your maternity leave, and your return date. It's always important to talk to your um managers just in case something comes up, they can work with you. You can discuss a plan with HR and your nurse managers before going on maternity leave. Um, you need to meet with them before you return to work so they can know when to put you on schedule and get all your timing right. It's also imperative to make sure that all your documentations and certifications are up to date before taking maternity leave, such as, your BLS, um, your nursing license, anything that your job requires, any type of documentation, anything that you need done before you go on maternity leave. You want to make sure all that is on file and handy. And you also just want to keep in contact with your manager while you're out on maternity leave, so they know that, hey, I will be returning back to work or I won't be returning back to work. Just to keep them informed on everything as well. Leadership opportunities before and during, and after. Women in the United States are just continue to get a slap in the face when it comes to paid maternity leave and proper health care, which can lead to a lot of stress in both the mothers and the fathers of the child. I feel that we need to do research on our leaders positions, such as Congress of States, and really push paid family leave. I know it's been a big dilemma and debate over the years, but it's really up to us to do our research on these candidates and their opinions of paid family leave as well. Also, before you're hired by any job or company, we must ask, what type of maternity benefits does this job corporation have before we are hired?